I think I may be the only person in the low country who hasn't seen the new Star Wars movie yet. Has anybody else not seen it? Well, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was just telling Mary Lee a minute ago that there was a thing on one of the talk shows, Fox or MSN or something, and they were asking people to compare the presidential nominees and candidates to various Star Wars books. And it really ranged all over the place. But the one that was the most popular was Chewbacca and Donald Trump.
No.
I was warned I should not let any jokes. Don't deviate from the script. I'm going to wear these glasses. I don't really need them, but I'm going to wear them.
Makes you look intelligent.
Makes me look intelligent. Appearances are important, yes. So thank you for coming out tonight, and I think I had a chance to meet most of you. I'm Rich Goff, the president of TCL, and I just want to begin and have a few comments, a few remarks, take a few minutes, and I really would like to go forward with some question and answers. I'd like this to be a bit of a conversational time for us. So I just want to begin by saying the mission of TCL is quite simply stated: provide the Low Country with a college that works. I believe this mission is vital to our community and our state. I consider it my personal obligation to ensure that we succeed. That was a quote in my first two sentences of that really beautiful, this thing. It was good. It's a quote out of there. And Mary Lee and Lee and Jessica did a great job putting it together. If you haven't seen it, please look at it. It's really quite good. For the past 2 years, it's been my pleasure to serve as the president of TCL. My entire career in higher education, which has been about the last 12 years, allow me to say without reservation that this is one of the finest colleges that I've seen. It's probably the best technical college in South Carolina. We're really an excellent value, yes. We're an excellent value and we're valuable to the Low Country. We provide affordable, high-quality training and education. We put people to work. It's a statistic that we've shown over and over again, that more than 93% of our graduates either go directly into jobs or transfer to a four-year university. And most of those 93 stay in our service area. I think that's an outstanding statistic. I don't think there's too many schools that can claim that. We work as a college, we're best in class. So why did we invite you here for this first annual State of the College address? And I hope it's the first annual. It depends on how it goes tonight. But why did we do that? Because we want to have a conversation with you. I don't want to talk at you, I want to talk with you, our stakeholders. We really believe that education is a local commodity. It's a local issue, a local responsibility. We can't rely upon federal funds or federal support. We can't rely strictly upon state funds. We can't rely strictly upon the county. We have to put all our resources together, and it's our responsibility. So all in all, TCL has been shaped over the years by the needs of our businesses, and they help define our priorities. So let's begin by reaffirming that TCL is your community college. We're a comprehensive college, meaning that we're both a principal provider of academic instruction and a major provider of vocational preparation and workforce development through adult training programs. We meet the needs of local employers. We're an inclusive college, open access. That means that everyone who applies at TCL gets accepted. You may not be accepted directly into college level courses, or if you are admitted under college level courses, you may have to take some remedial, but we don't exclude anyone based upon wealth, heritage, or any prior academic experience. We have a full range of people that come to TCL. Our demographics are, the average student is 27 years old, 70% are female. Most have part-time jobs, working, families. So we're really catering to a very specific and important group of people here at the college. But the range of our students go all the way from students that are still in high school to some folks that are as old as me, they're taking classes. In the past 2 years, we've accomplished a lot here. When I first got here to TCL, I wanted to reach out more to the military community. I felt like we weren't doing enough. And we've accomplished a lot of that. We've put offices on both Parris Island and at the air station. We've put a person there. We've begun teaching classes on the air station. We've done a very good job, and those have been very successful. We've reinforced and put money against our transitioning military training program. With some help from the state, we were able to do that. That's an excellent program. We take Marines and soldiers that are working in the aviation world. We give them tests, we test them, and we look at their difference training. We prepare them to be aviation mechanics or work in the aviation industry. We've had outstanding results from that. I think I would be very, I don't know exactly, but I'm very sure close to 100% of our graduates who have gotten their certifications have found work either at Gulfstream or at Boeing or one of the other aviation industries in our area. So we're keeping our service men and women right here in our local community, which I think is an outstanding thing to do. We've recently opened a Veterans Resources Center. You may have seen it as you're coming in. This is a center that we put together. It was just opened recently. It's been very well received, and I'm going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. The other thing I wanted to do was to work especially on our dual enrollment programs. This is the programs where we're going into the high schools. In some cases, we're using the faculty from the schools if they're qualified to teach college courses. But I call it work once, get credit twice. These students are able to work these classes with TCL instructors. They might be high school, but we're hiring their instructors if they're qualified. And when they graduate, they'll graduate with college credits. It doesn't cost them a thing. In Beaufort County, it's free to all of those students. And we also do that at early college high school at Whale Branch. And I think the numbers are something like last year, we graduated something like 9 students from Whale Branch who graduated with both a high school diploma and an associate's degree. And if there was something like 20 more that received at least 1 year, full year of college while they were still in high school. These are students who are probably first generation higher education. They may or may not, very likely may not have gone on to college. This is going to give them a jump start like you wouldn't believe. This is a fantastic program. So we've done very well with that, and I have some representatives here from the high school, and they can correct me, but I think we have over 400 students now between Beaufort, Jasper, Colleton, and Hampton counties, our service area, that are enrolled in dual education programs. That's doubled in the last 2 years, so we're very, very happy about that. Those programs are very good because they get these students accustomed to the college environment. Many of them come to our campus and take classes, or they're integrated with our other students. So they get accustomed to the college environment. They know what it takes to do college work. They build their confidence. It doesn't cost them any money. They're saving money when they go to university or finish their programs here. Their chances of success are much greater by going through these programs. So we think it's a very outstanding program. We're seeing a shift away to some degree from AP courses and IB courses into these courses, primarily because when you take these courses and you pass them, you have college credits that can transfer on to other universities or here at the college. Not always the case with AP classes. So third, we wanted to reinforce and strengthen our industrial programs. When I got here, I heard about welders. We need more welders. And we just couldn't produce enough welders. And I never thought in today's age that we would need so many welders, but there's a great demand for welders out there. So we put on more sections of welders, and they're filled up this semester. We have 3 sections that are completely filled at Hampton, and here at Beaufort we have 2 sections at Hampton, the Mungeon Center. And these welders are going from making minimum wage to making $20 an hour on average right out of the bat. So they're excellent. The other thing that we have done recently is we've worked very hard and Jeff Bradley's here. Jeff, we talked a lot about this. Thank you, Jeff, for helping us with the CDL training. We have, we've heard that the 2 most in-demand occupations in the area right now are nurses and CDL truck drivers. So we worked hard to get our truck driver program going again, and it is going. And you might think, well, truck driving, that's not a great occupation, but I've said this before, but I was listening to the radio the other day, and there was a commercial on there from Walmart, and they were offering $82,000 a year to start. $82,000 a year to start as a truck driver, if you had the credentials and a clean driver record. $82,000, isn't that amazing? So, Sheree's over there, representative from Jasper, whose husband's a truck driver, and she said, lastly, one of the things that we've done here that I wanted to accomplish was to institutionalize an advancement office. And I was truly blessed when we had added 2 folks to our staff, Mary Lee Carnes and Jessica Russell, who came to us. It was very fortunate because they took us to the next level. And they continue to do that. And what we've done is actually built our foundation as part of the advancement office, and it's raised our visibility and our focus, and I can't thank them enough for what they've done. They've meant so much to me and to the foundation of the college. So why have we been successful? Well, it's really about our faculty. Our faculty aren't like university professors. They teach because they love to teach. That's all they really do. They do some advising, but most of the time they teach. They don't have to worry about publishing or doing research. They teach. They're professional teachers. And we have some folks with some wonderful credentials. Patty is here. We have others here in the group that are instructors that are just wonderful. And I like to use the example of Pete Semitis. Pete's right here. Pete is our instructor in our aviation maintenance program. Pete is an epitome of what we like to hire for faculty. Pete had over 40 years experience in aviation. He worked first he worked with the Navy, then he worked with he had his own business doing aviation maintenance. And Pan Am, he worked for Pan Am. Of course that company went under. I don't think that could do it. But Pete came in with a wealth of experience a couple of years ago, and he's been such an outstanding instructor. He just told me that just a few minutes ago that he had, I think, 4 of our students who just passed the FAA exam, FCC exam, and he's got another one that is waiting to pass an exam, but he's got to fix our Cessna. We have a Cessna 150 in the building next door. The wings aren't on it, but he's got to come in and fix that plane before he can get his certification. Pete's a certified instructor. That's the kind of talent we have here, these kind of folks. And I'll quickly give a shout out to our staff. Our staff work extremely hard, and they go the extra mile to make things happen. And they don't do it for the money. We don't, in the colleges, we just can't pay a lot of money. Many times the raises are pretty scarce. I'd like to point out Christy Welch Copeland. Christy, are you here? Christy is here. She's a wonderful person. Christy came to us from Indiana. She's a veteran of the Army. I think two enlistments, probably. Is that about right, 2 enlistments? And I don't know for sure why she got out of the Army, but it might have had something to do with the fact that she has 5 kids. And in her spare time, she managed to earn 2 master's degrees. And when her husband was reassigned here to the Low Country, she came with him, and we were fortunate to hire her into our transitioning military training programs, and now she runs our VRC. And I don't know for sure, but that facility is packed all the time. I think it's because of her, mostly because she's so nice. And we're just so glad to have her here.
She sounded about to be drunk now.
She probably is. So what's our impact? What's TCL's impact on the local economy? South Carolina is considered one of the best states in the nation to do business. We've had a tremendous number of growth in our economic well-being in terms of manufacturing coming to the state. We're actually in a point now with all the new manufacturing that's come in, whether it's Boeing or BMW or soon to be Volvo, being able to keep up with the workforce demands. And we know that by 2018 that 33% of all jobs will require a bachelor's degree. But a full 57% are going to require a degree that's more than a high school, but less than a baccalaureate. And that's our sweet spot. Those are the folks we're going after, the middle level. So at TCL we offer 90 programs of study, associate programs, certificates, and diplomas. These programs are designed for 2 things. One, to transfer students to university, and I think that's about 20% of our students, but the other 80% are being trained for jobs. And we have some outstanding success in that area. For example, we just did a nursing graduation, and I know this is maybe not a perfect example, but at the graduation I asked them to raise their hands on how many had employment, how many had a job lined up. And everybody raised their hand but one guy. I think it was 2 guys in the whole class, and the one guy didn't raise his hand. So I was pretty encouraged, and I asked him, I said, what is he? He said, well, I'm going to go on to USCB and finish my 4 years and get my BSN. But every single one of those people had been employed. Now that doesn't just apply to nursing, it also applies to HVAC. It applies to our criminal justice program at 95%. Our paralegal program, Laura Dukes is here, that's about a 90% employment rate. These are outstanding statistics, and we're very proud of it. We've had 529 graduates in the last year. And we have people who go on and do other things in 4 years. The example I wanted to point out is Reese Berthoff. He's in this magazine. Reese was a Marine overseas in Japan. He did his tour over there, came back to the States, got married while he was over there, came back to the States. Came back to the States, came back to the Beaufort area, enrolled at TCL in a firefighting program. And his wife enrolled in a program too, in a radiologic technology program. Well, he graduated first. At the same time, he's working at Port Royal as a firefighter. And then he went on and got his baccalaureate degree at USCB, I believe. Then he went and got a master's degree. She continued her work and got a bachelor's degree. And so now he's, I believe, the chief firefighter at Port Royal. He's done tremendously well, but this is the kind of success that our students can achieve. You know, you just get started, you build your confidence, get some education behind you, it builds on itself, and the rewards are there. So we'd like to put him out there. Then we also have some students that was an example of a student who went to TCL and went to university. There's examples of students who have been at university and come back for an associate's degree. My wife in the back is a good example of that. She got her bachelor's degree, and then she went back and got her nursing degree. Well, we have an example of a student right now who's doing exactly that. She had her bachelor's degree. She got a bachelor's degree from Salisbury University in Maryland in exercise science, but she wanted something that she could be employed with. So she came back, accepted to our nursing program. She's currently a nurse with us now. And so there's a percentage of those students that come back. And I don't know what that percentage is that come back to us. They already have a bachelor's degree.
I think up to 10%. We're not
10%? 10% of our students approximately do that. So I think that's pretty outstanding. So we think that TCL is a smart choice. only 59% of the students who go on to university complete. Nationwide. 61% in South Carolina would do a little bit better. And those students, on the average debt for those students is $30,000. That's a lot of debt to be taken. That's a car you can't buy, it's a house you can't get started, you can't even get your marriage going. Whatever the case is, there's just that debt is hanging over your head. And a lot of parents and grandparents are picking up that debt for their kids and grandkids. And I was just telling somebody today, I just met a woman who said that she was considering taking a second mortgage on her house to help her daughter finish her university degree. And I thought to myself, you know, it's great of her to do that, but it's really risky, knowing that only about half of the folks really complete. So we think that there's an opportunity for many of these students to come to two-year colleges, come to TCL first, and save a lot of money in the process. They gain the experience they need. We know statistically they're going to do better when they get to university. The chances of completion is much higher. And so we think that we're a good alternative. In fact, our tuition is less than half. Our tuition is $166 per credit hour, and USCB, for example, is $394. So we're less than half of the per credit hour cost to university. So if you went, for example, to TCL for 2 years, then transferred to USCB, our friends down the street, you'd save $11,000. And that's the net